last year was a total fluke? What if it all goes away tomorrow? What if it seems like your business is going well, but is really about to all fall apart? Yeah. So have you been thinking that when you have a business success, when you have a good launch, or you have a good year, or you have a new client, does it go over and over in your head that it's just a fluke, you don't deserve it, you're not worthy? If that's the case, you are not alone. Welcome to Explore Your Enthusiasm, episode 190 with me, Tara Swiger. You can find the transcript to this episode along with links to anything I mention at taraswiger.com/podcast 190. So now that many of us have done our new year planning and reviewed last year, I'm hearing the same thing over and over from many of my clients and my friends. Oh no! Last year was awesome, but what if it was a fluke? What if it's not going to keep going? How do I know that I can keep this up? What if I lose momentum? What if it all falls apart? What if I can't deliver? What if I don't actually deserve this? And what if I'm not worthy of keeping it up, or I'm not good enough to keep going? So for many of you, last year was a really good year. Yay, that's awesome. But as soon as you looked at the numbers or you looked at your successes, almost immediately, your brain clicked to, well, you'll never do that again, or, well, you can't keep that up, or, well, you can't keep growing at this pace, everything will fall apart. Or, I know you're growing, but don't make that investment. It could all go away tomorrow. You'll lose everything if you invest in that, if you buy that bigger, supply order, if you, like one of my students is building a studio, don't do that. Not safe. You could lose it all. First of all, if that is what you're hearing, I want you to know it's really, really normal. And I mean, when I say a good year, I mean you could have just opened your shop and sold your first couple things. Or I mean you could have sold out of your events. Or I mean you could have done 10, 20, 30% better than last year. Any amount of doing better, it is normal to have these feelings. Almost everybody I talk to, who I think has an awesome business and should be proud, they're afraid, at least occasionally, of losing it all. This comes up over and over when I talk to business owners. And when you've just had your best year ever, and you review your year and you look at it and you come to terms with it for the first time, it is totally normal of not being able to recreate it, not being able to keep it going. However, I want to tell you a few things. So I have 3 things to tell you. First up, this is just doubt. This is not reality. This is your own perception. This is not reality. You have no reason to believe you can't continue to create and grow an amazing business. In fact, everything in your past tells you you can create and grow an amazing business. And on top of that, you are more capable, more skilled, more knowledgeable, more tapped into your superpowers than you have ever been. That is true whether you started your business 10 minutes ago or whether you started it 10 years ago. You know more now than you did then. So if your current business did fall apart, say it is going to fall apart, the whole industry is going to crumble around whatever it is that you sell, you know what? You could build another one. I feel like my 2017 was a massive experiment to see, can I take my skills and knowledges and superpowers and apply it to a totally new industry with totally different customers and in a totally different business model? And the answer was yes, not because I'm special, but it's because I've learned the stuff over the years, and that stuff now resides in me, not in the business I built. If the business goes away, I still have it. So even if your business fell apart, you still have everything you've learned in you. I just had this conversation with a business friend who's built an amazing business, and it's been awesome for 2 years, which is a long time for a business to stay awesome. And she said, I just feel like if I rest and if I stop, it's all going to fall apart. And I said, first of all, everyone feels like that. And she was like, really? And I'm like, yes, here's the thing. Even if it did, you'll be fine. You are a totally different person with totally different skills. You've learned so much. You've learned how to work with people. You've learned how to collaborate. You've learned how to market. You will be fine. And if your business doesn't fall apart, you are now even more ready to build and grow on the successes you've already had. You're in a different place. Your business is in a different place, and you're more skilled, knowledgeable, capable than ever before. You've learned all of the lessons from the last year, the last several years, and now you can take those lessons with you and carry them on to the next thing. Now, you really have to work on accepting this. This isn't just like, oh, that's nice, and I feel encouraged. You really need to work on absorbing this and on starting to see yourself as the person who did these awesome big things. Because the second thing I have to tell you, the fear that it's all going to fall apart is a real problem if you let it stick around. It can actually damage you and the health of your business. So you might have heard me refer to this book before. It comes up all the time when I talk to clients. The book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, talks about having an upper limit problem. It's based on the idea that however you have been living, even if you're really unhappy with it, it's more comfortable than change will be. So it's in your comfort zone. It's what you're used to. Even if it's really uncomfortable living situation, it's still within your comfort zone. To live another way, like as a fancy businesswoman or a capable entrepreneur or a creative artist, it's going to be uncomfortable for a while because it's new. Not because it's bad, but because it's new. And he suggests that when things are uncomfortable and they're too good, like we're moving towards where we want to be and they're good, but that's uncomfortable, we then do something that makes ourselves more comfortable. And often that shows up as sabotage, either in the area that's improving or in some other area of our life. If you have ever had a really amazing day in your business, maybe you landed a client, maybe you got into a show, maybe you just felt good about what you accomplished, and then your partner comes in and you guys have a really stupid but big fight and you totally lose all your good mojo and you're like, ruined my day. That is what I am talking about. That is an upper limit problem of like, I felt so good. I did something to like totally undercut it. So what can happen is that you hit your goals and it immediately scares you. Oh no, I can't keep it up. Why now? So you backpedal. Right? So you make yourself more comfortable. You go back to that comfortable place of like being small and not doing as much and not hitting those goals, maybe not having as many customers or not having as many connections and relationships. And I've seen this happen in people who have just flat out canceled. Like, I actually had a client who I knew she was going through an upper limit problem. I bought a Christmas gift. She was supposed to make like a custom, it was earrings, and she never delivered on it. Like, she'd had an amazing year, then her business totally fell apart because she stopped working on it. Not because like she got too overwhelmed with orders. She just decided to stop working on it. And then she closed her business. Some people do that, or most of you do it more subtly. So you just kind of sabotage yourself. Like you don't get the wholesale order out on time, or you make mistakes in fulfilling the orders or in typing descriptions or in posting on Instagram that you don't usually make. Or you work less and you scroll through Facebook more. These are all ways that our upper limit problem comes in and is like you let it push you down back into how you used to be and not into who you want to be and who you're moving towards becoming. Now, if you're nodding along and thinking, yes, I've totally done that. I've had something awesome happen and then I like mess it up in some way. Often we blame ourselves and we're like, I messed that up. I screwed up. I can't handle good things. That's the opposite. I mean, what it is that you had a good thing and then you got uncomfortable, so you held yourself back. It's not that you can't or you're incapable or you couldn't have done it. You held yourself back from doing it. But that's okay. Take heart. You are not alone. Everybody does this all of the time. Your job is not to like be perfect all the time and never mess up. Your job is to acknowledge it and notice it. Literally just noticing it will, every time it comes up, if you notice that you're doing it, soon over time, you're going to stop the behavior before it affects anything else. Right now, if you just start noticing when you do it like after the fact, and then maybe soon you can start noticing it like the moment you finish doing whatever sabotagey thing you're doing, eventually, and I can tell you this from my own experience, over time, you get better and better at noticing it sooner and sooner. And if you do that, it's going to stop affecting you. It's okay to have the feeling to want to do the thing to sabotage it. Like I've literally been having a good day and then gone and gotten like mad at my husband and about to go pick a fight with him. And then I realized, wait, I could just keep having a good day. I could just ignore whatever this thing is that's really upsetting me. And he has this podcast, so he can tell you that I do that for sure. Now, if you don't start acknowledging and trying to just forgive yourself for doing it, then what's going to happen is a third thing I want to talk to you about, which is snapbacks. So a snapback is when you have a success, you hit a new level, and then you fall back to your old level soon after. And by the way, when I talk about levels in business, I want to be really clear. It's not that any level is better than any other level. It's not that you need to level up all the time. It's not that your attainment is what makes you worthy. It is that when you're trying to move towards something you want, that's all I mean. So you could call it steps. You could call it walking down the mountain or going downstream. It's not about being better at a higher level. It's about moving more towards the you want to be with a business you want to have. So when you hit some new thing and you fall back. It might, in your business, it might look like hitting a certain monthly sales goal or a certain rank or getting in a shop or a show you've been trying to do, and then you fall back into how things were before. It's like there's a rubber band around you and you stretch forward, but then it pulls you back. And that's often how people feel about it. And that's kind of like upper limit problem, but when you are seeing it actually manifest in less sales, not doing well at the show, not getting the next account you try to get, what happens is maybe you felt amazing as you were reaching the goal, but then as you were pursuing it, but then you get snapped back to the old doubting you, the old you that thinks you can't do anything, and so you don't do anything and you don't take the kind of action you know you can take. What I found in years of helping women set their goals and move towards them with my book and process, Map Your Business, what I've seen is that having a goal and working towards it that's really in alignment with your mission and where you want to go, like, helps you pull out the best of you. It was in there all along. It's just been covered up with layers of doubt and worry and what people have told you. Helps you pull that forward. And the thing is, when you pull that forward, a snapback is like you shove it back down and you're like, oh, I don't know. I'm not very good. I couldn't do it. I can't handle it. I can't grow. So this happens in part because of the upper limit problem, and partly because you haven't fully lined up yet with that new, awesome, capable self who just did the thing. You're still seeing yourself and still acting like the old version of you, the one that was afraid of selling, or the one who was no good at marketing, or the one who didn't believe in herself, or the one that felt incapable of doing what you have now already done. So if you've experienced a snapback, hey, that's okay. Your success isn't a linear up, up, up. So we're all like dipping and swirling and going all over the place. It's more like a roller coaster than a linear straight line up. We all have dips. But if you want to keep from snapping back every time, if you're frustrated that you feel like you're snapping back every time, then there are a few things you can do. Number one, acknowledge that you did it and that it's okay. Well, acknowledge it is number one. Two, notice when you're letting your upper limit problem get in the way. Try to identify what's making you uncomfortable at this new level, at this new goal, at this new attainment. Are you worried you'll waste money if you make more money? Are you worried you'll be a bad person if you become an effective salesperson? Are you worried you're going to lose all your friends? Are you worried that if you become comfortable, you'll lose it and then you'll feel worse than ever? What is feeling uncomfortable about this? I often journal. What feels uncomfortable right now? What am I afraid of happening if I actually believe that this is happening and that I'm capable of this? Step 3, forgive yourself for it. You need to forgive yourself. You need to say, self, I forgive you for doing this. Now, I like to use the essential oil blend Forgive and either diffuse it or rub it on and actually write out that I forgive myself, or like have written up my stuff and burn it, or just like say, I'm releasing this. That's what I was doing. I'm releasing the need to do that again. And then spend time writing about or visualizing, or both, who you are now, the new you. Write about her going through your business, doing what you need to do, crushing it, being amazing. Picture that you that got this awesome thing that you just got, whether it was a great year, or it was new clients, or it was a lot of new shops, or it was selling out your event. How does she operate in the world? Write about that. Picture it. The more you line up with her, the more you can be her and stop sabotaging her day after day. She is you. You are that capable person. So this may sound extraneous or extra, or like, this isn't how I work on my business, but I can't tell you how many makers I meet who have done awesome things and still don't see themselves as capable. So why that matters is that then they don't take action, or then they don't make the decisions that are going to lead them closer to what they want, because they don't see themselves as capable of doing it, even if they've done it a million times already. So I want to end this podcast with a suggestion. I want to suggest that you are more capable than you know and than you feel day to day. You have skills, abilities, and superpowers that you have developed through your life and through your business. I want you to ask yourself, can I spend a few minutes holding that possibility in mind? I know, like and trust Tara. I listen to her podcast every week. It's possible that she's right. And then ask yourself, if I'm confident in my ability, what decision would I make differently? Or what decision would I make with confidence? What action do I need to take from this focused, smart place? And then ask yourself, if I am confident in my ability, what decision would I make? What decision would I make clearly and confidently and easily? What action do I need to take from this focused, smart place? And I'll be honest, a lot of the time you might not feel like the new, smart, capable version of you, especially if you've spent a lifetime believing that you aren't, and that's okay. Just ask yourself to accept that it's possible that you are maybe a little more capable than you think. And then ask, if this were true, what would I do in this situation? So as much as possible, try to make decisions from that mindset. If I were capable and skilled, what would I do? If I were a complete rock star, what would I do? If I were confident that this would succeed, what would I do? With that in mind, I want you to go forth and have a confident, enthusiastic day.